When we talk of the wealth in the kingdom and speak about success, career success, what does our career have to do when it comes to the wealth in the kingdom? What role does it play, the work of our hands?
What God said, or one of the channels that God said He was going to bless, is the work of our hands. And so, yes, a career as a channel to wealth is key. But then it doesn't just end there.
Okay.
Having a career is just a means to the end. There's the career part, but what is the end point? Is it going to lead you to getting wealthy? There's actually a job for everyone, and that job is.
Did you know that man was created into a world of much more abundance? I mean, a place where all things are ready. It means the wealth in the kingdom is much more abundance for the 7 billion plus people living on planet Earth. When man was created, God actually placed man in the garden and gave man a career to dress and keep the garden. I welcome you all once again to today's episode of Kingdom Career Wealth, where we'll be unveiling the mysteries behind the wealth in the kingdom. Guys, I have a honest request from you as we work together. I would like you to like and share this broadcast. This will help us to reach as many as possible in order for each one to have access to this kingdom wealth, become a kingdom giant, and live the life that Jesus Christ wants us to live as trophies of his victories, and through us spread and make evidence the fragrance of the knowledge of God everywhere. Please also do well to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you will get to know when we release our next episodes. All right. Today, guys, God has actually blessed us, as he always does, with yet again another kingdom giant. He is a man that have actually have access to the wealth in the kingdom, and he has been successful in his career. Today we have with us no other person but Pastor Philip Imoy. Sir, it's a great privilege to have you join us today at the House of Kingdom Career Wealth.
It's a privilege to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
When we talk of the wealth in the kingdom and speak about success, career success, now, the Bible said that God said he will bless the work of our hands. So, as youth, what does our career have to do when it comes to the wealth in the kingdom? What role does it play, the work of our hands?
Thank you so much. Once again, thanks for having me. Let me just start by, really appreciating you and your crew for the great work you're doing. I must say this is apt, especially for the youths of, this current age. A lot of information is actually hidden from a lot of people. And the scripture says, my people are destroyed
for lack of
knowledge. And so what you're doing right now is to be able to, curate and put some of this information together and disseminate it. And I think that's really commendable. So thanks so much. Yeah, so to your question, just like you said, what God said, or one of the channels that God said He was going to bless, is the work of our hands.
Yes.
And so the question is, what is this work of your hand as a person? So for some people, you may want to refer to that as your career part. Others would say, okay, maybe I'm not cut out to be a career person. I'm good with business, good with, picking up skills and being able to meet needs and all of that. But I think everything comes together, and speaks to that one point. You have to have something doing that God will then bless. And so, yes, a career as a channel to wealth is key. And so for professionals, let me start from there, for instance. For professionals, you've gone through school
Mm.
and then you have been able to channel, all your efforts
Efforts.
into, advancing in a particular
Career.
course.
Mm.
Um, then they say professionally that you have a career,
Yes.
um, but then it doesn't just end there.
Okay.
Having a career is just a means to the end. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I think the way you frame the question is actually very, very cool.
Thank
So
you.
there's the career part,
Yeah.
but what is the end point? Is it going to lead you to getting wealthy?
Yeah.
And then how do you then bridge all of this together? And so there's just a lot of nuances around how that happens.
Okay.
And just like I used to say to a lot of people, these things are accessible to everyone,
Mm.
but also hidden from everyone. You get what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So the principles are same
Mm.
and they are universal.
Okay.
These secrets are universal, but the scripture uses the term, these are mysteries, these are secrets.
Secrets.
And so it means that they are only accessible to those who are deliberate in finding them out or searching them out. And so, irrespective of your background, irrespective of your race, irrespective of your religion, if those secrets are assessed by you, then you're on course.
Mm.
That's why you would find some Christians who feel, okay, it's my right, and it's being prophesied all the time that I'm going to be wealthy, but yet do nothing in searching out some of the secrets and trading with them. They still remain at the floor. And those that are, in our terms, without or outside, are those who, maybe by privilege or by opportunity or whatever, they have access to some of these secrets and they trade by them. Like I said, they are universal.
Yes, they are.
And so the commitment by God to have them deliver, it's sacrosanct. And that's why the air we breathe in is not just for Christians alone.
It's
It's
for
for everyone.
everybody. Yes.
You get what I mean?
So it's like no part of the scripture will be broken.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so whoever accesses some of these secrets, irrespective of who you are, that's just one step.
Okay.
Knowing what to do is one step, but
Okay.
then doing them is another step.
Mm.
And then all of this take a lot of intentionality and being very deliberate to be able to blend all of those. So maybe we can eventually speak to specifics as we move along.
Yeah. We get to speak about those as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, sir. So in that case, it means there are principles
Absolutely.
to career success.
Absolutely.
Personally, what are those key principles, like the kingdom and realistic principles that you've traded on that have brought you where you are currently?
Absolutely. I think, again, so those principles are pretty straightforward. I'd like to categorize them under, like 5,
Okay.
core principles. But just before I delve into that, just to highlight that, there's actually time for everything. Everything in life, in this age, so long we are on earth, everything is timed. So to everything, there's a season. There's a time to be born. There's a time to die. And so even as people who get born, and then you grow, and you become an adolescent, you become an adult, through all of this phase and age, there is the time to maximize what you need to do. And so it means that as individuals, especially youths, you need to take advantage of the timings of our life. And this is individualistic. It has to be with you.
Okay.
And we are not looking outside. This is about you, and to say what's like the timing of my life. So as youths, and I think those early days of even before you moved into becoming a youth, there's some of the things that some of us, for instance, heard and learned from our parents, by privilege, the kind of setups where we were. And some of these principles were shared early enough with us. And it kind of like shaped how we approached life. And that's why, like I referenced earlier, this platform is very key.
Thank you, sir.
to help really sensitize people. And the principles are generic.
Okay.
First is you have to know the purpose, why you are here. What are you wired to do here on earth? What are you wired to do here on earth? What problems are you wired to solve on earth? Purpose. Purpose. And I think you mentioned that when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse
is inevitable.
And so it begins with us. So it begins with purpose. And that purpose has to start from the very scratch, from your early age. Is that going to be coming from your parents and telling you this is what I feel you should do? Or this is what I feel is impressed in my heart, that you have to grow up to become a medical doctor, you have to grow up to become a lawyer? And my answer to that is no. They can be facilitators. They can help you discover purpose. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But the responsibility of finding out the reason why you are here is solely yours. And I can clearly reference that in scripture. Jesus was born into a carpenter's house. He grew up, and for 30 years, nothing was said about him until in Luke 4, he was driven in the spirit into the wilderness. And I love the word driven by the spirit into the wilderness. So I like to just imagine how that happened.
It means he was intentional.
It was intentional. Like, it was like, okay, it seems like this guy, this our savior is getting really complacent and relaxed. So let's force him to go into the wilderness to discover himself. And that's how life is for every one of us. The way life is built to make us not want to pay attention to the things that matter, especially in our early age.
So crowded,
a lot of distractions, especially in this current age, the social media. You are distracted from really settling down and settling into yourself, to finding out what is the purpose. And that cuts across anything you want to do in life. And so if you don't start with trying to first know why you are here, then you are just living life by chance. And so Jesus got in there, and then when he came back, he went into the temple as he would always do. And then the scripture he has been reading all these years, he picked it up this time around, and when he opened it, he found
a place
where it was written of him. So for me, I think that's helped me. In my early days, I know my dad, just to share my own personal experience and how that also shaped my career life. My dad is a practicing lawyer, a senior lawyer. And then I was born into a family of just my sister and myself, and then of course my parents too. And so my dad, by reason of the fact that it was just me and my sister, wanted me, growing up now in my early age, to read law. You get what I mean? And so he would always get all the novels, would always get everything. Whenever I'm on holidays, he would tell me, hop in the car when I'm going to the court. Takes me to court, just so that he can help me build that interest to become a lawyer. But that's where you know that it's not what our parents do or what external factors do sometimes that shape us. But realize that even with all of those things he was doing, I wasn't really caught up for arts and, that line. I found myself loving sciences.
Wow.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is just my own story. I found myself loving sciences. And then by the time I was just about getting into the university, of course, it was time to select subjects, in secondary school. I sat with him and I'm like, there's no way I can do this. Maybe, but just to make you happy, I can probably still add, some arts, whatever, to myself.
Yeah.
That's where he sat me down to say, you know what, actually, I have been hiding this truth from you. When you were born, I prayed a prayer that you were going to be a medical doctor.
Wow.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
He never told me until fate and destiny was pushing me in that direction.
Yes.
And so for me, doing sciences and then eventually becoming a medical doctor was beyond what even my parents could say, okay, they wanted to shape me. It was
Yeah,
just divine. You get what I mean?
Yes.
And so when you are in a place where you are fulfilling destiny, you don't struggle.
That's true.
You get what I mean? You don't struggle. Things happen cheaply. You enjoy what you do
On their own accord.
on their own accord. And so, of course, I went to the university, became a doctor. And then, as he would be giving a testimony in church, because he's also a senior pastor,
Okay.
he now said for the very first time, he shared that experience. And that's what kind of like made me realize that, yes, we are just caretakers of our children. Sometimes we need to help because we know a lot and we have a lot of information. And it's our responsibility now to guide them into self-reflection, to know the purpose for which they are born. You get what I mean?
That's true.
And then for me, career, yes, I wanted to be a medical doctor, but a lot of other things came in the mix. I became a medical doctor. I was reading and heading towards becoming, after I graduated, becoming a gynecologist and obstetrician.
Specializing.
Yes. And then I got married early, and it kind of also shaped everything.
Wow.
That now made me to say, okay, because at the time I was in Abuja and I had a lot going on. And then, as a young doctor, to make ends meet in a place like Abuja, you take on a lot of jobs. So I found myself hopping from hospitals to hospitals. Sometimes for 48 hours, 72 hours, I won't be in the house. And I just got married, a newly wedded. My wife will be at home. Sometimes, even if she has something to do, she comes and she's all by herself in the house, lonely. 72 hours, she'll be crying at night. I'm at work, I'm not concentrating, even at night. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Then, again, I went back to God and I prayed. What's your purpose? Is this how it's going to continue? So nobody is saying those who are into clinical medicine, there's anything wrong in that. But where do you find succor? Where do you find that rest?
Like that ease.
In fact, that's the word I was looking for. That ease. The ease that helps you manage everything.
Yes.
Because if that ease is not there, you will find yourself struggling. And then God helped and we pivoted to public health.
Wow.
And so my journey in public health started like 17 years ago. And for someone who already had a lot going on as a young medical doctor with jobs here and there, way back in those years, I was earning some substantial money. But to then pivot into a place, a completely new terrain, I needed to start from the very scratch. Okay. And whenever I have the privilege to say this to young career persons, I tell them, I started as a volunteer, irrespective of the fact that I put in 4 years into clinical work.
I think that's the secret.
You get what I mean? And then all of this will come into play. And I'm still talking purpose. You get what I mean?
Yes.
I'm like, okay, we have to just start from the very beginning because I got guidance and counsel. You want to get into this?
There's an access.
There is a way to get in it. And that's the price a lot of people don't like to pay now. They want to you get out of school, you think the jobs are waiting for you. The jobs that are waiting for you are jobs to help you build capacity. You get what I mean?
Yes.
And then there's actually a job for everyone, and that job is volunteering. So you can walk into an organization to say, I want to volunteer my services for free. And I can bet you that if you walk into the organization and you're volunteering your services and they see that you're adding value, you become an asset.
Yes.
You get what I mean?
That's true.
And so you are not looking for a job. I mean, I say a volunteer, some would do that volunteering job for years. But in just 3 months, I got an official job within the organization. Wow. So now later, I became an officer because, I became a state lead, technical lead. From there, I moved to Abuja again to become a national technical lead of the entire project in the country. And then from there, moved to our global office in the US to become a global backstop of countries. And I then had countries under me in Asia and in Africa that I now backstop. But it didn't just start from just wishful thinking. It started from being purposeful and being deliberate. And then from being purposeful And those secrets, like I was trying to say, and those principles, you move from purpose to mastery.
Mm.
Mastery is key. And that's where a lot of skills come in. I play this scenario all the time. You have a balloon,
Mm.
that is yet to be inflated.
Mhm.
When you drop the balloon on the floor and the wind blows, the balloon is on the floor. The wind continues to blow, isn't it?
Yeah.
The balloon is still here
Yeah.
because it's not inflated.
Mm.
But if that balloon takes in air and the same wind that has been blowing continues to blow, it lifts it up on its own accord. So the problem is not the wind here, I liken it to opportunities. The opportunities that enables you to fly in career are always there. You get what I mean?
Yes, sir.
But the responsibility to take advantage, like the eagle, of the wind and the opportunities is personal. It takes a lot of personal effort to sit down and say, I want to inflate myself. I want to make myself something that can leave the ground when the wind comes and start soaring and start flying.
Mhm.
That's where building capacity
Comes in.
mastery comes in. Again, that's where most people have found one thing. Wherever you are, you start from there. By the time your purpose is very clear and you know this is where I'm headed, there are skill sets that you need and capacity that you need that takes you there.
Mm.
Read biographies of people who've gone, who you see at the hem there. How did they get there? What did they learn? Learn what they have learned and even much more. Build those capacity. And this time around, it's so easy. You don't even need to go into the Harvard and the University of Washington, like some of us did. You don't need to anymore. There's the University of YouTube, for instance.
Yeah.
There's the University of AI,
Can
for
learn
instance.
online,
There's literally
everything
nothing
now.
you want to access.
That's right.
And you have professors, even on YouTube, teaching you all of these things for free. But no, people don't want to learn all of that. And that takes a lot of personal effort. And so a clinical person pivoting to public health, you do a lot of programming work, a lot of admin work.
Mm.
I didn't learn all of that in school. You get what I mean?
Yes.
I didn't learn admin. I didn't learn programming. I didn't learn implementation. I learned clinical stuff. I learned about human beings, surgeries, But then pivoting to all of that, I had to build the skill sets that it takes to be at the level that others there operating. And then you move from mastery. Integrity is key. Wherever you are, build integrity. Let people trust you for who you are and what you can do. And moving very quickly to one thing that's also very, very important, and that's where a lot of career people get it wrong, is visibility and value.
Mm.
When you have been able to build your skill set to bring in value, how do you position yourself? I say to a lot of people that are my mentees, some people have the skills, but they are hidden.
That's true.
Why?
Right,
Yeah, some people they are built, they are capacitated, but they are hidden.
Mm.
And nobody is going to find you there.
No one.
It took deliberate efforts for them to go and fetch David, who had built capacity and was in the jungle, taking care of the father's sheep.
Mm.
But he was right there building capacity. But he was hidden there.
No
It was because God knew him that he had to say, my servant. Assuming the likes of Samuel wasn't there, who God spoke to that. In fact, when Samuel came and saw the other, he said, no, this is the one. And God had to say no. So when you do not then have that, especially in settings where we work, how do you operate?
Mm.
So visibility, even though you have built capacity. So some people build capacity, they are hidden. While others that are so visible, they are empty.
Mm.
There are so many others that are so visible, they throw themselves everywhere. But when you hit them, they are sounding like there's nothing that comes out. But build capacity and be visible.
Mm.
Let people know the value you can bring. So you don't be in an organization and be behind. Be very intentional and be very frontal. Be very deliberate in showcasing your skill sets. One of the things that I tell my mentees is never say, I cannot.
That's true.
Never say, I cannot. When you are given a responsibility, and that's how I grew. You are given a responsibility that is 2, 3, 4 times, levels beyond you. They are doing that because they have seen something in you. So when you say you cannot, nobody will come to you again.
Concerning
So
that.
right there and then, and that's how I'm raising my children. I can do all things, is what the scripture says.
Yes. Yes.
And there's a reason why the scripture says you can do all things. You get what I mean? All things is all things. Whether it is becoming a medical person, even though you have grown to age 30 as a driver, you can still be a medical doctor. You get what I mean?
Yes, sir.
My dad, for instance, didn't go through the 4 walls of the secondary school. He went through primary school. He didn't have the privilege by the parents, they were so poor, to take him through secondary school. But the older sister and brother was the one that had the privilege. But he was able to get a menial job as a typist in an organization, saved some funds, and then told himself, I can't continue like this. This is how I'm going to raise my children. And then, even without going through secondary school, he began to buy books, advanced level books. So that's why some of us, you see again what shaped some of our mentalities.
Yes.
Some of us you don't have any excuse.
You
don't have any excuse. He read in the room, and then before you know what's happening, he passed his A level, went into university to read law without passing through the 4 walls of secondary school. So when you see people who know what they want, they have envisioned something, and they clearly have also tried to find out the ways to get in there, and they then sit down to pay the price to get in there. There's no stopping them. You are definitely going to get there. So visibility is key. After you have built capacity, be very deliberate in showcasing what you have. What you're doing, for instance, you can use the social media. What am I able to do? Put it out there. Let people see you for what you can do. When you are in the now obscured place, nobody knows you.
That's right.
And the world is only waiting for manifestation. I don't know what I'm saying. The world is only waiting for manifestation. So those who can manifest is those who would advance in career.
That's right.
And then when the opportunity comes, take it. And that's the last point, which is called be intentional with transitions. Be intentional with transitions. Be intentional with transitions. Don't be too relaxed in your comfort zone.
I think that's
Absolutely.
where a whole lot of youths, particularly those in the kingdom, are actually missing it.
Absolutely.
Like being relaxed and not being opportunity ready.
That's it.
You see a whole lot of person. I'm sorry to bring this up, but there was a particular certain time I had the privilege of having to get CVs of youth in the kingdom, particularly in the church. And I found out some persons are well dedicated, serving, but now when I got to look through their CVs, they were so messy.
In fact,
so I think a whole lot of youths are missing it out.
Absolutely.
So now there's a place of prayer, very well, but there's a place of you also doing your due diligence.
Absolutely.
Being opportunity ready is very, very key. Just like you said, Jesus went, he opened the book, and he saw where it was written concerning him. At first, he was driven into the wilderness. So to get ready for what is being ahead.
Absolutely. So I mean, by privilege, I see a lot of, on this career path, I've had the privilege of mentoring a lot of people. The first thing I tell them is send me your CV. And then it's always very ridiculous, the kind of things you see. And I don't blame them. We're all there. You get what I mean? But it takes a lot of being very deliberate. Your CV is everything about you. It's how you position yourself. It's how you sell yourself.
Yes.
And interestingly, again, there are even very, very easy ways to do this now. There is the artificial intelligence that helps you throw in the information about yourself into those platforms. And it helps you to construct a very powerful CV about you that you don't even, things about you that you couldn't have even articulated well by yourself.
That's right.
These AI tools will help you put them together. And so opportunities that eventually come, like I said, and I was trying to use that analogy, these opportunities are always there. In fact, as you and I are here, there are opportunities to make there's the information that is right there, even on the internet now, that if we access and we trade, we jump in, we can be billionaires in dollars.
Yes.
And that information is not exclusive to some people.
Mm-mm.
But you and I haven't had the privilege to apply ourselves to finding it out. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yes.
So the opportunities will always be there. While you are waiting for those opportunities and you are able to then gain access to those opportunities, how are you putting yourself ready? Understand your projections, for instance. Where do you want to be? Where are you headed? And so then begin to build your capacity to be able to take advantage of opportunities that will propel you to those positions. And then just to again take it back to the wealth part. If you don't grow in your career, for instance, you won't be able to grow in the benefits that come with being in the career. And then, of course, like I was trying to say with you earlier, wealth for me, the monetary part is one aspect. But wealth is beyond money. Wealth is beyond what you've been able to garner and pull together as resources that you can use to impact and shape this world and make it a better place. Wealth is usually not for you as a person. It's usually for you are blessed to be a blessing. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yes, I think
so. If that light doesn't dawn on you, that the reason why I probably want to advance in my career is not necessarily because I want to show off, or not necessarily because I want to be able to take care of my needs. Your needs are too small. Looking at how God have made, what God has made you to, the void He has made you to fill, Jeremiah 1:5. And if you tie that with Deuteronomy 28:1, you tie it with Matthew 5:13 and 14 or so, you realize that we are packaged not just for our immediate family, our immediate self. We are packaged for the world. And so some of us caught that vision early and we started propelling ourselves to get there. So now you can then be in a place and then you are now providing advisories to nations.
That's right.
You get what I mean? By privilege. And we still have a very long way to go. You get what I mean? And so in terms of career growth, is your vision to just be the MD of your organization in the country or in the States, or whatever? Why are you not looking at the globe, which is what God is talking about, or God has packaged you to be? And so in getting there, you can use the skill sets of what positions you at the national level or local level to fly at the global level. So there's a lot of competition in this space. So the space is not for the weak. Life generally is not for the weak.
Right.
I don't know what I'm saying. So it's called a race. In a race, people are running and they're even excited if you fall and they forget you. They want to run. They want to keep running. That's what a race is. You get what I mean? And
everyone are pressing
so
for the prize.
Some people get into careers and they are not enjoying it because they feel somebody in my organization is witch hunting me. These are the side things that happens with being in a career. And it happens not just being in a career, it happens across the entire ecosystem. So irrespective of whatever ecosystem you want to find yourself, if you are somebody who is person shy, who is conflict shy, who is running away from people confronting you, who would not want to be talked down on, you are not ready to grow. Who would not want to fail for trying? You get it? Then you are not ready to grow. Failure for trying is a ladder to know better and to climb on. You get what I mean? And so in all of this, remember I talked about mastery and capacity building. That part is very, very important because it's from there you build capacity to become different from others. If you build the capacity that others have, you become like them. But if you build the capacity like that others have and you add 2 more extra capacity and skill sets to yourself, you become better. You know, and there's a lot of platforms to even be innovative right now. I was shocked after I learned. I was deliberating going for an AI course recently. Very deliberate. I mean, some of these things you pay for them. And you'll be wondering, what is a medical doctor doing with AI and all of those things? But interestingly, it afforded me the opportunity to now, as I'm here now, I can design an app that can make my job easy. For instance, you are able to when I learned all of that, you're like, just sit down. Then I said, okay, let me even develop the prompt to put together an app that can, in my setting, we do a lot of research writing. We call them implementation research, operational research. And then those research are the things that, you are able to use to shape policies that can then help to determine how people program or what people should do across countries. I'm like, okay, instead of doing all of pulling of these literatures from here and there and then trying to pull data, can I just put a simple solution together that helps me do all of these things I ordinarily will manually do myself? By just sitting down, I generated my own app that once I just give, my question now will just be, write me, I need a full manuscript on so. Where I have data, I put it in. Where I don't have data, I tell it, leverage the data on open source journals, pull everything together and see what you can come. So you just type a research question and you are already having a manuscript that is published, that is publishable.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yes, I do.
With just some little tweaks here and there, you can publish it by just asking it. And that's what I was deliberating. So I get into the same setting where people are still being very manual and mechanical in doing research. I'm laughing.
In this age.
I'm laughing because what research question do I have I want to answer? I throw it in there. I already have... I don't even understand what I'm saying.
I do.
What deliberate actions are you putting in to become a master at what you do? And those opportunities are there. You get what I mean? And then eventually when you become a master, you then begin to add value. Yeah. Wealth, maybe in a nutshell, if time still permits us, is simple, very easy to generate. What problem are you solving? What value are you adding? That's where wealth creation begins.
It's like
it has to be, you have to get back into your locality. That's where you want to create wealth from. If you are thinking global, be very wide in your mindset and your thinking to say, what need globally can I meet? What value can I add globally? You see, that app, for instance, now I'm shaping it up and I'm cleaning it up. If all things being equal, I can put it on maybe, what do they call this?
Google Play Store
and whatever.
Apple Store.
Anybody eventually may be free.
Yeah.
But as people begin to see value, you can then begin to introduce whatever. You get what I mean?
Yes, and that's where a lot of these big apps currently.
You get what I mean? So that again already, creating that wasn't because of that in the first place.
Yeah.
But because I know is something that makes professionals like this is what they worry about. I want to have if I type Dr. Philip Imohi on Google, I have seen so many publications under him. I've seen a lot of this. I want to be like that. You get what I mean? And so mechanically speaking, you want to be doing all of that. It may take years that some of us have taken to be able to get our names out there. But with something like this now, that's why people want to take advantage of it to say, so something like that exists, that I just have a question in my head and then I already have the manuscript, the next 5 minutes or 3 minutes or 1, depending on how long and how robust.
You're right.
The question is, I already have the solution in my hand. So people within my space will see value in that. And it's not just going to be exclusive to Nigeria. That kind of value is global. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So what ideas are you incubating? What ideas are you currently, from where you sit? Abraham, in Genesis, he said, from where you are, look.
Northward and south.
Look. So what are you seeing? And based on what you are seeing, you then begin to put yourself together to get in there. And if what you are seeing is what will add value to humanity, people will search for it. And by searching for it, you're already creating wealth. Because wealth is for impact. If you're already impacting and influencing people's life for good, you are creating wealth without knowing. And so if the wealth is about the money, it will come on its own. and it becomes massive. And because wealth is not, and that's why the scripture says this: the love for money that is evil. For
Not
those who
having
understand what it takes to make money, if your attention is not money, 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 it comes. Let your attention be value, 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 solutions, solutions, solutions. I want to meet solutions. I want to, and it's from every little thing. You in your community, in your setting, you live in an estate. What value can you add there? Can I put a little system together to sell maybe shawarma? Where we used to get shawarma in the estate, you will need a good one. You need to journey far. Maybe, why can't I just set something like a kiosk or something just outside of our gate? You get what I mean?
Yes.
From just as little as that, I don't have the ability to cook or whatever. But you walked into maybe a mechanic workshop someday. You find people, who cook and push in wheelbarrows. Those mechanic guys, they say that's the person that I want. They even know the time he or she comes.
Yes.
What's in that food? That person probably just uses 100,000 every day or every week.
And sometimes there's nothing special.
There's nothing special. So call those kind of people together and say, you are using 100,000 for your stuff. I have 200,000 proposal for you. I'm going to build a shop. I'll bring 3, 4, 5. I'll be the one building buying all your stuff. Just come and be cooking.
Wow.
I will build it in this mechanic setting. I don't know what I'm saying. So those opportunities are always there. So when we pay attention to money, 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 it runs away from you. But when your attention is about value adding, meeting a need, the funds and the wealth in terms of money, will always come.
Wow, these are whole lots, and like I always said, they are massive. You see, the secrets in the kingdom, like you said, they are universal. Actually, universal. It's based on the purpose and how you are able to broaden your mindset.
Absolutely.
It said, just like Bible said, God said the people that were building the tower to go and see God. He said, as he has imagined it,
absolutely,
to surely
nothing shall be impossible to
the
them.
likes of our fathers in the faith. There's one secret I caught when you were, it was just ringing through my head. Our fathers, they dream big, like horizon, and that's why God is actually lifting them.
Absolutely.
It's not basically for themselves.
God will never lift you beyond the level you can see.
Yes, I think
He can never lift you beyond the level you can see, beyond what you can imagine.
Yeah.
In Ephesians 3 and if you read 20, he said God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you ask or what? Think. It doesn't end there.
Yes.
According to the power. In this context, we can say the capacity that you have garnered over the years.
Yes.
That's Pastor Phil's version, don't mind me. So it's according to the power that works in you. So beyond worrying about what God can do, worry about the capacity you are building first, the power you are building first. Because if God looks, say when He comes, what will He find? Will He find faith? Will He find the power level required for Him to bring what you're asking Him to do to pass?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even need to ask. It's about your imaginations. He came and He looked at them and He said, in Genesis, or in chapter 6 or 11 or so, He said, nothing shall be impossible to this thing for these guys, what they have imagined to do. They will do it from where? See, they are already coming up to me. So whatever man imagines, remember we are built in His image. We are God's. We are exactly God's replicas.
We have the mind of Christ.
We have the mind of Christ. So
that's the advantage
everything we imagine to do, there is a process to doing it. There is the power requirement first. That is my responsibility to build.
Yes.
There is the resource gathering. That is my responsibility to build. You will hear Papa would always say, I invested in the law of biographies. I invested in the law of books. What is that? It's about capacity. It's about knowing what others don't know. It's about knowing the secrets, the steps that others followed. So there's literally nothing you want to do that others have not done before.
That's true.
Nothing.
There's nothing common.
And in this age of technology that has gone so advanced, You don't even need to be the one searching for those things. Go to AI. Tell AI,
Yeah.
search for resources that are
Mm.
relating to this. He pulls them together for you free of charge.
That's right.
What our fathers of old used to pay funds for, to buy books and whatever, even though some of those books that are very valuable are still, monetized to some extent, there are some of those resources you can still access
Yeah.
that will still give you competitive advantage,
Mhm.
that can put you shoulder and shoulder at the level of others who will even pay to get those resources. You can access them online.
That's true.
But the essence is, in a nutshell, pooling resources. These are the steps.
Mm.
We are privileged to be in a commission
Mm.
where we have someone that is a reference. It's not somebody who just says these things.
Someone who does.
We can see that is a living example
Testimony.
of a living testimony of what it means to be a commander in terms of kingdom wealth,
Yes.
a commander in terms of guiding people to knowing the truths that he has known over the years and he has traded with and has taken him to where he's very, very free spirited and is always pouring himself into us.
Mm.
And so when you belong to a commission like this, take advantage. And the truth about it is, there are a lot of kingdom giants.
Yeah.
There are the stories of men are very important. How they became,
The steps.
the steps they took. And the thing is, when you go to those kind of people and then you then begin to access their steps, you don't know what God has done for you. You are not going to make some of the mistakes that they made,
Yes,
because it's cheap.
Very
It's just like a
well.
ladder. You get what I mean? A ladder, you are not going to be trying to put a ladder together
Mm.
now. The ladder is already there.
That's right.
Or somebody is already on this pedestal and you are still here. And the person is telling you, take my hand, let me
Let
pull
me
you.
pull you up.
And you are saying, no, I want to learn.
Mm.
What accessing those kind of resources that others, that exposes or espouses some of the things that others have picked up that they've traded with, for which they've grown, is that you don't need to then go through what they've gone through. It becomes very easy.
Mm.
So if you want to learn the hard way, you still go your own way, which is fine.
Mm.
Experience sometimes is the best teacher. Or sometimes, for those who've gone ahead, they just tell you the truth. And if you can actually tie the truth they are telling you to what is showing, just like our father in faith in their life, you don't need anybody to convince you that what this man is saying
It's true.
is true.
It's true.
He has told us about what it means to make wealth.
Mm.
And the principles are simple. For me, I classify them under 3 I's and 1 A.
Mm.
Impact, influence,
Wow.
integrity,
Mhm.
and then the last is alignment. Alignment in this context is alignment with the will of God, the will of the kingdom. How are you aligned with what God is committing to your hands? The purpose for which God is committing, what is committing to your hands? How are you aligning with that?
Wow.
And that is for the interest of the kingdom.
Mm.
If your alignment is not off key, then you're on course. Nothing can ever bring you down.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So much.
Yeah.
You've laid down secrets and they've been unveiled, like made so plain for any youths. Let he that is wise, let him take heed and run with them. We've seen the results and now we've known the steps. So it's left for us as youths out there, being the kingdom, outside the kingdom, to take hold of the steps. And just like the Bible said, it said, God is the same yesterday, today, and forever.
Forever, absolutely.
Testimony of Jesus, the spirit of prophecy. So
Hallelujah.
anyone that runs with it will have the same results.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you
And
so
thank
much
you
for having
guys.
me.
Please ensure to key in. See you in our next episode.